Welcome back to movementprofessional.com. So today I want to demonstrate my favorite endurance practice. And I don't want to call it a workout because I don't think of it as a workout, and the goal for me is not to get a workout in performing it. It is to just do movement longer and at the same time improve the movements in which I'm doing. So I'm going to use three tools. I'm going to use a jump rope, an Indian club, and an Indian mace. All right, and I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes. So I'm just going to jump rope for 5 minutes. Then I'm going to do position one on my right hand of the Indian club, position one on the left hand, and position two on the right hand, position two on the left hand. And then I'll finish on my left hand because my left hand is a little bit weaker than my right, so I'll do an extra set of position one on the left. And then I'm going to do 360s with the mace, and I'll demonstrate what all those are. The thing I find valuable about this particular endurance practice is that all of the movements are self-limiting. So if I suck at jump rope, I'm not going to be able to do it very long, and if I'm not ready for it, I just have to take more breaks until I get better at it. So I'm actually getting better at a skill while I'm getting my kind of endurance work in. Same thing with the Indian club, so it's great for circular kind of skill of range of motion and speed that you can kind of build up with the movement. You'll see as I go through it. So there's actually, you're actually getting better at it. Your shoulders getting more stable, mobile, coordinated as you're going through the movement, but it also is just a continuous flow. So you're working on endurance as you go through it. And then the same thing can be said for the mace as you go through. It's a continuous flow, but it's a much heavier object, so I have to stabilize a lot more. There's a lot more grip endurance that has to be built up. And all three of the movements, when you stack them together, they really work on grip endurance, which is a real valuable tool. All right, so we'll set a timer. Well, in this case, I'm just going to go through it real quick, show you the movements, talk a little bit as I'm going through it. So we start with just jump rope, and I just want to get a nice flow here. So, like I said, it's a self-limiting exercise. Works on impact control, so I want to be able to land light and be able to switch. I want to also be able to continue to talk and keep a pretty normal voice. Otherwise, I'm working way harder than I need to. I'm not going to be able to do it for 5 minutes. All right, so normally if I wasn't talking, I would just keep the tip of my tongue behind my two front teeth and just breathe nasally. And I want to try to stay as relaxed as possible. And first, I'm just going to get a flow left-right. I could do doubles, and then I can kind of work right side, left side. So I want to be as variable as possible, just so I can not overwork any one area. Alright, so again, try to do this for 5 minutes. The idea being to go 5 minutes unbroken. Doesn't happen often, so then I just shake it out, and I keep going until the 5 minutes is up. Immediately, you reset the timer for 5 minutes. Got an Indian club. So we go through the movement here. So this is position one. I'll get a little closer to the camera. All right, so you got home position where the club is going to be horizontal or parallel to the ground. All right, I'm going to come overhead or behind head. So the club is going to be straight down the spine. All right, and then my elbow is in the frontal plane of my body. I'm in a cast position, so I make a little gun with my hand, and the club is an extension of my index finger. I come down, I'm in external rotation, so I keep my palm facing forward, tight to the body, loop it back up to home. So that's the movement. So I can start really slow, and I typically like to start super slow so I know I'm not missing out on any one position. And then as I feel that I have the flow a little bit better, I just circle through. Okay, and I can do different things as I'm going through. All right, so I'm going to do each position for 1 minute. All right, so I can start with that first minute, going mostly slow, and then add a little kick into cast, come down slow, overhead, kick into the cast, so it becomes a little bit more of a powerful movement there. And then I can whip it up to home, slow it down here, cast, whip it up to home, and then it just flows. Okay? And then I would go to the left, do the same thing, and my left is much different than my right, so I might want to go slower for longer so I can really make sure that I'm hitting the range of motion, especially behind the head here. I'm much more limited, so I don't want to go fast especially early on, or I'm just gonna always miss that range of motion. All right, so I wanna make sure that I'm in a nice straight line as I come through here. And I really wanna feel this open, make sure my back's not arching, kick it into cast, and then I can start flowing with that. So after I do 1 minute on each side, then I go position 2, so I can start at home again, flick it across, external rotation as I swoop through, come up, I'm in cast, and then I grip it. So I take it out of that kind of shooting the gun position, grip it, put it behind my back, so it's just the opposite of what position 1 was. Flick it through, catch, and then when you go faster, it sort of looks like you're banging a drum. All right, so work that for a minute, and then I do the same thing on the other side. All right, so I'm continuously flowing through, so it's just upper body endurance, trying to stabilize through my center the whole time. All right, after 5 minutes there, the last movement is the mace. This is a 15-pound mace. So for people that are new to this, one, you would use a lighter mace, most likely a 10, and the closer you are to the ball, the easier it is. So if I choke up real close to the ball, this movement, not too challenging, can teach you, basically you're throwing it over, if my right hand's on top, throwing it over my right shoulder, it goes behind the head, and then I pull it past my left shoulder, and I'm literally pulling it down to the center of my chest. So it becomes a nice circular flow. All right, and I can do that, so every minute, I'm just gonna switch which hand is on top. I'm gonna do it because I've been practiced with this down at the bottom. So I whip it, pull. And the breathing is as I pull down. Okay, so I'm gonna really stay relaxed with my breathing, but I'm gonna just make sure I'm exhaling as I pull down. Now to rest, because I'm gonna do this for 5 minutes and the grip really starts to get tired, I actually wanna balance this in front of my face, take my time. So this is my rest position. I flow, come back to center. All right, if I keep flowing, I'll get tired really quick, which is fine, but if I need a rest, I rest right here, okay? So it becomes a nice flow. I'm still able to talk. I'm not doing more work than I need to do. The whole idea of this endurance practice is to make activities that were once hard easy, so that it's no problem to go 5 minutes without stopping. Right now, I could likely sometimes do 5 minutes unbroken on the jump rope, could do 5 minutes no problem with the Indian club, cannot do 5 minutes with the mace without my grip giving out. So that's what I'm working on. But the whole practice is actually getting you better at something. Plus you're working on your grip endurance, you're working on your impact control for landing, helps you become a better runner, helps you jump better. So many things are getting better while I'm getting my endurance work in. If you have any questions, go to movementprofessional.com. I'll see you next time.